Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move, though, in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker, and I'm joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Chloe, good morning.
Good morning.
European big pharmaceutical stocks, actually, they haven't reacted that much to a fresh round of tariffs.
Yeah, they actually haven't, except for one name in particular, which is Novo Nordisk. So Trump announced a rate set 100% tariff on branded pharmaceuticals. But he did say that there was a caveat to this, which is if a company is building a manufacturing facility in the US, and a lot of drug companies have announced those types of investments, then they would be exempt from those tariffs. And Novo Nordisk was the worst hit this morning, and that might be because it makes the main ingredient for Ozempic and Wegovy, which obviously it's two blockbuster drugs in Denmark, and that makes it particularly exposed. Other stocks in the sector started off a little bit weaker immediately at the open, but then paired some of those losses as the market maybe started to understand a little bit more about whether or not they would be exposed. So AstraZeneca, for example, has previously announced a major investment in the US, and GSK as well. And so those two were doing a lot better this morning. There's still a lack of clarity on the logistics of this tariffs. We don't know whether they stack on top of existing country deals. We don't know what would constitute having kind of broken ground on US manufacturing side. So we don't really know the impact yet, and the market is still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, AstraZeneca, GSK, Novartis, they're all basically flat because, of course, the tariff doesn't apply if you've actually broken ground on a manufacturing plant in America. And people seem to be trying to understand the details of this policy. Okay, there are, though, other parts to the announcement from President Trump, including tariffs on kitchen cabinets and big trucks.
And big trucks. Yeah, Trump was very busy last night. So he announced 25% tariffs on big trucks as of October 1st, which is obviously less than a week away now. So that drove Daimler Truck down, as well as Stratton, although Volvo, the other kind of big name in that truck sector, was higher this morning, perhaps because it does own a US truck manufacturer called Mack Truck, so it might have that boost coming from there. The key thing here is that there's still kind of so many questions which could explain that kind of divergence within the sector in terms of performance. You know, neither the White House nor the Commerce Department released any detail on how those tariffs would be implemented, and obviously we're now less than a week before implementation. Depending on how much they'll be impacted, the new tariffs would be an additional challenge for an industry that's already dealing with tariffs on steel and aluminium, as well as tighter environmental regulations that have really driven down that demand for those big, heavy trucks. So we'll still await on all of those details for trucks, for pharma, and for, as you mentioned, furniture as well.
Okay, lastly, IHG. So this is InterContinental Hotels. Why are they moving today?
They got double upgraded to an overweight rating by JPMorgan. So analysts noted that it had a really good high earnings visibility and really good cash flow as well. It's not been necessarily a very smooth last few months for IHG. It's been underperforming its peers. It has as many sell ratings on the stock as it does buy ratings. And its main problem has really been its exposure to the US market, where there was weaker travel demand earlier in the year because of market instability, because of tariffs, and also because of much stricter policing at US borders, which meant that a lot of tourists decided not to come to the US. But now JPMorgan analysts said that following that period of underperformance and weakness, the company is now on the right track to perform better.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.